Dillian, the body snatcher right here. It's a champ. Big up to Sporting Icon. Subscribe. Otherwise, I might pay you guys a visit.
Well. After a long time of Deontay Wilder and his fanatical followers accusing Tyson Fury of glove tampering and altering and this, that and the other, yet there's no footage and there's nothing that would suggest that Tyson Fury's been cheating whatsoever. But what is it that they've been doing? Well, quite possibly deflection tactics. If you shout loud enough, people will look at Tyson Fury and not look at yourself. Well, there's footage right here coming up right now. Thank you very much to Kian for forwarding it on to me, where Deontay Wilder just had some gloves FedExed in moments before his ring walk for the rematch with Tyson Fury. This is not supposed to happen, and of course I'll explain a lot more after you watch this footage. But you can quite clearly see and hear from the Fox Sports commentary team, Lennox Lewis and co, that they're also questioning about these gloves, because gloves are supposed to have been agreed by Team Wilder and Team Fury days before the fight. The Nevada State Athletic Commission get these gloves, put them in a holding place, and then present them to Deontay Wilder on fight night. Well, the gloves that were presented to him weren't used. Deontay Wilder had some gloves FedExed in. Here's the footage, and then we'll talk a bit more about it, including those who've been accusing Dillian Whyte of a very similar situation. So we're going to cover all of it. Stay tuned.
Something happened with the gloves that were on site because...
Well, they're being inspected by the Nevada State Athletic Commission right now.
I know, but that's supposed to take place...
Correct.
...during the weigh-in or before the weigh-in or right after, and then obviously fight night as well. But those gloves come in ready to go from being inspected the day before. The fact that those just came out of a FedEx package, that lets me know that something happened yesterday, something wasn't right, and everyone had to get some gloves here right away.
Well, typically the other camp is involved also with glove inspection, and it can be contractual as well. But this is the scene that we just captured in Wilder's locker room as they were able to...
Do we know what the gloves were before this?
You know who will? Bernardo Osuna.
Okay.
Now, as you can quite plainly see and hear from the Fox Sports commentary team, Lennox Lewis and co, they were also questioning these gloves. Now, I'm going to explain a little bit more as this video goes along. Okay, now, Deontay Wilder, he's not alone in this particular situation. This does happen time and time again. And this is what I said to you guys way back when Dillian Whyte fought Oscar Rivas. Because the Wilder fanatical channels were going in on Dillian Whyte. Dillian Whyte's a cheat and this, that and the other. Because Dillian Whyte, the gloves that he was supposed to use against Oscar Rivas, there was a problem with them right before he fought Oscar Rivas. So the gloves that Dillian Whyte and Oscar Rivas' teams agreed on, they were not used in that particular fight, because there was a problem with them. One of the problems being that somehow the British Box Border Control allowed another fighter to use those gloves earlier on the night. Dillian Whyte weren't happy about that, okay? There were other things than that as well, okay? So, moments before, Dillian Whyte, he got these new gloves. They were the same brand and everything. They were identical replica, and they were inspected by the British Box Border Control before they're put on the hands of Dillian Whyte. But there was such a hoo-ha about it. Is the same energy going to be towards Deontay Wilder? So let's move on to Deontay Wilder. Okay, ordinarily, I probably wouldn't even make a video on this one, but because of what they've done with Dillian Whyte, I'm going to. Because of all the accusations towards Tyson Fury and his alleged glove tampering and this, that and the other, I'm going to make a video on this one. Because unlike with Tyson Fury, you see, Tyson Fury's hands were wrapped, gloves put on, taped up, signed by the Nevada State Athletic Commission in front of Deontay Wilder's manager and trainer, JD's. Okay, so if anything was untoward about Tyson Fury's gloves, JD's would have been there to have spotted it. The Nevada State Athletic Commission would have been there to have spotted it. Because once they put the tape around the gloves, once they're on, you can't tamper with them, you can't move them. And of course they sign them. So any kind of tampering with the tape or anything like that, it's going to cause a bit of warping on the signature, isn't it? It's going to be spotted, automatically disqualified. Okay, so we know Tyson Fury's gloves are okay. But what about Wilder's gloves? Did Team Fury know that Deontay Wilder changed his gloves moments before the fight? Is this a case of the fact that he got them FedExed in, by the way? Not like the Nevada State Athletic Commission had a spare replica pair on standby, which is what they're supposed to have, but they had them FedExed in. You heard the Fox Sports commentary team talking about it. Is that right? Are these a replica of what were supposed to be used? What were the original gloves? So these are the questions. And these are questions that Team Wilder is going to have to answer. Because you've been accusing Tyson Fury of this, that and the other. Yet you are the ones caught changing your gloves. For whatever reason it may be. You are the ones that there is footage out there of you changing the gloves moments before your ring walk. You see, what a lot of people do is they use the deflection tactics. Tyson Fury's gloves. Let's talk about Tyson Fury's gloves. So therefore, don't look at me. Look at Tyson Fury. He's the one who's been cheating. So everybody focuses on Tyson Fury's gloves. But what you don't do is look at what is right in front of you. If anybody's been cheating, it's Deontay Wilder, right? I'm not saying he has been cheating. I'm saying if anybody has, it's him. Because he got battered in that fight, because he didn't get away with cheating himself, he's using deflection tactics, isn't he? Well, my gloves didn't well work, and I tried to do it, and I know that I can get away with it because I got away with it. Tyson Fury's done similar, but he's the one who won the fight, so let's deflect onto Tyson Fury. Where did these gloves come from? Why were they FedExed in? Are they specially made for Deontay Wilder? Is there something about these gloves that suits Deontay Wilder? Maybe there's some kind of stitching problem. Maybe they're a little bit more hardened around the knuckle area, whatever it may be. Lots of questions need to be answered. No questions needs to be asked and answered from Tyson Fury because we know JD's was in the changing room with Tyson Fury. We know that. Deontay Wilder, there's a lot of questions about you, isn't there, my boy? A lot of questions. And I'm sure a lot of you guys in the comment section right now will be asking those questions and, of course, coming up with your own conclusions. For me, I don't really have too much of a problem with it because the Nevada State Athletic Commission was there. They were the one who were inspecting the gloves. Then they were given to Mark Breland. Mark Breland put them on the hands of Deontay Wilder. For me, that's fine. I don't have a problem with it. But what you don't do is accuse Tyson Fury when you're the one who changed gloves last minute. The Deontay Wilder fanatical channels, what are you saying now? You guys went in on Dillian White. You guys have been riding the boat accusing Tyson Fury. But what about your guy? Because that's two footages that we have now that I've now put up on this channel where, number one, something fell out of the towel of JD's. Footage up on that one. That'll pop up in a second. And now this one. There's been no footage whatsoever of Tyson Fury. None whatsoever. So what you got to say about that? Drop your thoughts below. Click thumbs up. Subscribe. Catch you all in the next video.